Alright, this is 40 and 42. I will do 41 separately. So the expression for figuring the average speed of a car is miles per hour. That's what the slash means. And that also indicates division. So that's really your math. Where M is the number of miles traveled and H is the number of hours. Evaluate the expression for a car that travels 472 miles in 8 hours. So really you're going to take this math expression, which is M divided by H, and you're going to put in the numbers indicated. Set 472 miles for the miles over the hours. And those hours right here, 8 hours. So hours goes there because that's what the math is. Average speed of a car is miles per hour, which is miles divided by hour. So you have the amount of miles traveled, 472, divided by 8. So that's all it is. It's a simple math problem once you sort out what to do. So 472 divided by 8 equals 59. So your speed then is 59 miles per hour for the answer. Miles per hour is the answer to number 40. So down here we have a retail store had monthly sales of $66,200 and they spent 30% of it on advertising. How much was spent on advertising? So what they're telling you is that 30% of it, which is they spent 32% of these total sales. That's what the it is. And what you're going to do from this phrase, 30% of it simply means 30% because the word of is multiply. So what you're saying is 32% times the total sales. I'm sorry, 30% times the total sales of $66,200. So that's your equation that you're going to use to solve the problem. Remember, anytime you have 30%, you have to change it to a decimal in order to continue the math. Changing percent to decimal simply is moving the decimal point, which is right there, 2 places to the left, which is dividing by 100. So when you do that, you're ending up with a decimal sign right there. So you have a decimal of 0.30. .30 then is multiplied by 66,200. So we would use a calculator to sort that out. 0.3 times 66200 equals 19,860. So that is $19,860 that was actually spent on advertising. Now another way to do the problem is if you're used to percent proportion, then what you would want to do is take your 66,200 is the whole, so you have part over whole, which is 66,200, and you're going to set that part equal to the percent, which is given at 30, but because you're using a percent proportion, you place that 30 over 100. And when you do that, you don't need the percent sign anymore. And then that changes, since it's a proportion, you solve as a proportion, And we should end up with the same number. Part becomes an x, so you do x times 100. 100 times the part. Let's just use the word, well, x. Let's use x. Will then equal 66,200 times 30. So we're multiplying those two, but we set them equal to each other. So 66,200 times 30. You isolate the x by dividing both sides by 100. Because 100 is multiplied by x, so to take the 100 off, you divide. 100 over 100 equals 1. 1 times x is x, so you still have the x. But you have to divide 100 by both sides to keep the equation balanced. So then what happens is that x equals all of this math here. 66,200 times 30 divided by 100, which you can simply put into the calculator of 66,200 times 30 equals divided by 100 equals the same number, 19,860, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. So the answer then to this problem 42 is 19,860.